Hello, everybody, and welcome to welcome to day 22 of my Forex trading journey. And today we already have some trades that we are going to go ahead and take at this particular moment. Right now, we are getting ourselves into a sell trade with Platinum. Give me just 1 second here as I go ahead and I calculate the buy stop that we're about to do, and we talked about exactly how come we were doing that buy stop as part of our new strategy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just measure out that distance right there. Okay, that's perfect. All right, we're going to do it right about right here. All right. Okay, just give me 1 second. Might have to do this a little bit manually. That's okay. I can go ahead and I can keep my eye out on this particular guy right here. Yeah, okay. Looks like I'm not able to do it in that particular situation right there. So we're just gonna keep our eyes on it. I do have the number in mind where we want to go ahead and place that particular buy if needed. But in the meantime, we also have our sell going on with gold versus euro right now. So we're also going to go ahead and pay attention to that too. And then other than that, we've got gold versus United States dollar, no trade opportunity as of right now. Silver versus United States dollar, no trade opportunity as of right now. So right now we're just playing along with silver and with gold versus euro, with platinum, and then oil. We have nothing as of yet, so we're also holding on to that as well. So we got a few things in the mix right here. So we're going to go ahead and allow that to take place. But in the meantime, here we are. Okay, so I'm looking at so as we go ahead and as we wait for for essentially Platinum to tell us what it wants to go ahead and do. Again, we've got the high point right here, 922.34. And so what I'll have to do is I'll have to keep that number in mind. So the high point, again, that determines the highest wick of the candle. And the idea behind that is the sell arrow will come at the highest point of the candle. So it'll always come during the high value that we see on this particular candle. So that's 922.34. Now 100 points for a 922.34 is 933.34. So if it does not allow me to measure out that particular number, then what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and I will manually put that particular number in if necessary. So let me actually see now that it's gone down a little bit. Will it allow me to go ahead and place it? Only time will tell. Although, let's see here. 22.4. Okay, not yet apparently, which is fine. We'll go ahead and again, we'll just keep our eyes on it. Looks like, yeah, it looks like because of more than likely what's going on is because of the spread that's not allowing us to have a valid take profit. But we do see that trade is going down just a little bit. So perhaps I could try again now. Nope, not as of yet. So, okay. No problem. So we'll keep our eyes on platinum for right now. Meantime, we also see that we have Gold. We have a gold versus euro. Looks like the sell arrow moves to the next candle, just like the last candle right here. In fact, let's go ahead and do I have an open buy trade? Is the question. Yes, I do. So we're gonna go ahead and also take another buy right there. And again, I'm following along with the high point, which is 922.47. So in fact, we'll do this. We'll do this. We will do this instead of we'll put 923.34, 35. Yeah, we'll put that right here for the, we'll just mark that as our first buy stop. And then for this guy, this would have been 922 point, hold on, 922.47. So that'd be 923.7 would be our next stop right here. Okay, perfect. So we'll keep that in mind as the trade moves forward. We also do have gold versus euro. That's something else that we will pay attention to as well. So right now we are in two open trades. Again, we are looking at both gold. I'm sorry, we're both looking at platinum. We're also looking at gold versus euro as our two currently open trades so far. And we're also looking to see the other pairs and what opportunities they have there as well for us. So as we go ahead and as we move forward right here, one thing I wanted to go ahead and talk about today, just coming back to the book that I have been reading for a lot of us, or going back to about a year ago, I've been talking a little bit about "Can't Hurt Me" by David Goggins, which is definitely a book that I recommend for those who haven't had a chance to pick up that particular copy as of yet. But what I personally wanted to go ahead and talk about in this particular book is a subject called the armored mind. Now, with the armored mind, what we're looking to do is we're looking to choose any obstacle in our way, set a new goal, or visualize overcoming or achieving it. And for me, when we talk about the armored minds, I come back to what we're doing here in the Forex market. Of course, this is a tough road that we have right here. It's not necessarily the easiest road that we have to overcome. Yet I can visualize myself, which each and every day that we go ahead and we pick up trades in the market and we're learning about the market, we're gaining, we're growing in experience. What that allows me to do at that particular point is it allows me to visualize or see the path that is in front of us. It allows me to, I'm actually going to move this line so I don't get confused. Okay, perfect. And for me, it allows me each and every time I get into the trading day, each and every time that I look at potential opportunities to trade on, and each and every time I'm seeing myself become successful with these opportunities so that I can move forward and not only become a master forex trader, but I can also become a teacher in the sense that I can really teach you guys on how you can go ahead and take these trades on your own. And setting myself that visualization and setting myself that goal of becoming the top podcaster in the world. That's something that I started to do as far as my journaling is concerned. What do I truly want to achieve in terms of goals? And that being one of them, that another one being the top Forex coach in the world. And as long as you are able to, if you're writing it down, right? If I'm writing all this stuff down in my journal, then for me, what that does in what that is doing or that is symbolizing is I've already had that particular thought in my mind. I've already had that particular idea theme already in my mind. So, by me going ahead and visualizing in my head, yeah, I can definitely go ahead and do this. Well, what that tells us is that, I have the capability, I have the determination to go ahead and move forward and do the things that are necessary in order to teach and become successful. So I definitely believe that, before you even are able to see the success, you have to go ahead and let's see, do I have any? No, I don't. So I'm going to put another sell right here, just because again, the buy arrow, the sell arrow moved over to the next candle. And then in the meantime, what I'll do is I'm just taking a look at the highest point right here. So that's 922.85. So that means that 923.85, that would be our place where we would go ahead and hedge if necessary. And again, we are following this particular strategy for platinum specifically as part of our phase 3 strategy. We could already see that the sell arrow just moved over to the next candle. So again, if that candle does, if the sell arrow does stay there, then we would go ahead and we would take our next sell opportunity based off that. So right now we're just visualizing I wish I could okay. So again, we're just going to need to pay really close attention right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and, just make sure that we don't, if we end up crossing this particular line, that's kind of a hard stop for us. And then we know that we need to go ahead and we need to adjust based on what is going on. Currently, we're just waiting to see what gold versus euro is doing. And so far, it's moving in that particular direction. So right now, we've got our eyes both on gold versus euro and platinum. But the idea, again, behind visualization, but in terms of seeing it, then setting goals for yourself, and then choosing this obstacle, which is conquering the forex market, finding the best strategy. I do believe that is a obstacle in a sense, but we want to visualize overcoming it and visualize the things that we can do in order to achieve it. You must also visualize the challenges that are likely to arise and determine how you will attack those problems when they do. And of course, we've been able to, in a sense, visualize what challenges we may have. When we get a trade wrong, when we blow a particular account, what challenges arise from that situation, and how can we go ahead and how can we overcome those challenges? That way we're moving forward in the right direction. And for that particular question, that does come down to, again, how confident are we that we can go ahead and keep moving on, even if, we start to, go on not only winning streaks, but also losing streaks. Do we still have that discipline within ourselves to practice and perform the strategies that we've been discussing on this particular channel? And not only do you have the confidence to practice them, but can you also adapt and move on to the next phase if a particular phase of your strategy doesn't work? Again, what we're doing with platinum is phase 3 of my strategy, because phase 1 of my strategy and phase 2 of my strategy did not work whatsoever. That is what we call a setback, and that is what we call a failure. But again, I will remind everybody that even though I say it's a failure, that's not a bad thing. That doesn't mean that the journey with platinum is over. That means we need to have a new beginning with platinum and with the acquired experience that we have that we didn't have in the beginning. That way you can be prepared as possible on the journey. You can't prepare for everything, but if you engage in strategic visualization ahead of time, you'll be prepared as you possibly can be. Now, there's definitely something to say about that. Of course, one thing that we can go ahead and we can understand is the fact that without some of the failures that we've had, we wouldn't be able to visualize ourselves, okay, we now need to go ahead and move on to this next phase of the strategy that we're testing right now. If we didn't have some of those obstacles coming our way, we wouldn't have known then to go ahead and create a new particular strategy that would work for us a a lot better in a sense. And so those are the things that let me just go ahead and just make another cell. Okay, beautiful. So we just got ourselves into another cell. Now I'm taking a look at our high point right here. So that's 923.11. So what I'm going to do is put this at, was at 924.11, 924.14. Okay, so it's not exactly at 100, but I will go ahead and not let that bother me. So that's fine. So we've got that going, and then I'll put another sell on gold versus euro because that 15-minute candle closed and the arrow definitely moved over to the next candle. And other than that, we don't have anything else. So that's where we that's where we sit right now. But as far as then, not being able to prepare for everything, one thing that we can ask ourselves is, even though we can't prepare for everything, can we go back? Can we learn from our challenges, or can we learn from the obstacles that we had faced on one particular day? And can we move forward in the confidence to know that this is still very much an opportunity for us? And we certainly do not want to let this particular opportunity pass us by. And so by doing that, we must be able to answer these simple questions. Now, this could be for Forex trading. This could be for anything you want to do that Forex trading will help you supplement. But we do need to answer these questions because they're very important. Why are you doing this? What is driving you toward this achievement? Where does the darkness you're using as fuel comes from? By the way, this is all in Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. So if you've not picked up that book, just like Unshakable by Tony Robbins, you must pick up this book as well. Definitely a recommended read for me. And what has calloused your mind? To push through, you'll need to channel your darkness, feed off it, and lean on your calloused mind. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me do this. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Okay, so what is channeling, or what is feeding that inner darkness within you, and how can you use that darkness to go ahead and overcome any obstacle? What can you use as fuel specifically? And when I think about that question, when I think about that, it's just a matter of, what can we use as motivation? What can we take as the sense of negativity that might be going on? What could be you excuse me, what could be used as negativity? What could be used as a source of fuel from critics, from doubters? What could we use? And instead of thinking it in terms of just negative energy, just labeling it as negative energy, something we talked about on day 21. So if you've not checked out day 21, I will recommend you first check out day 1, so you make sure you're caught up if you definitely have not been caught up on this journey. And from there, check out day 21 once you get to that point, because we do talk about instead of labeling something as just negative energy, we can instead use that label and convert into something else that can fuel the momentum that we need in order to move forward in the right direction. Visualization will never compensate for work undone. It's a lot more than mind over matter. It takes relentless self-discipline to schedule suffering into your day every day. But if you do, you'll find that at the other end of that suffering is a whole other life just waiting for you, right? There's something to be said. And again, I'm not here to pat myself in the back or anything. Again, this is more just me wanting to teach you guys, but it is Well, it is something to be said that we're here after a few setbacks that we've had already in our journey, and we're still doing the things that we need to do so that we can go ahead and create the success that we want. You know, in a matter of speaking, excuse me, in a matter of speaking, what we're doing in that sense is we're taking an opportunity that we have. And in fact, what I would like to go ahead and do, just taking a look at where we are. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to move these lines. So you may have noticed that before the plan was to, I'm just making sure I've got everything because I know that there's a lot of stuff right here. But the idea is I'm moving these lines just a little more down to create what's called a trailing point. Well, take a buy position. That way I can hold on to the profits that I've already made on this particular trade. So right now I'm just concentrating just a little bit. Okay. So we'll put that down to about, let's put that to about here. Put that to about here. Put that to about here. We'll put that to about, oh, leave it alone. Come on. Just want that. Thank you. And then we'll put that to about down here. Okay. So we're just going to move those lines down just a little bit. Again, that helps us protect our, that's going to be a part of our new phase for phase 3 of the strategy, which is just to move those lines a little bit, especially now that we've seen that price has gone down, so that by doing this, we can go ahead and secure what we can with platinum. So we've got that going. We've got this going. This is already at 2.8%. This is at 3%. So I'm closing that. So we've got euro, gold versus euro completed on that trade right there. So that's great. And then we've got a buy arrow for oil. So that's going to be a little bit different now. So we're going to go ahead and place a buy trade for oil. So we're just waiting on that to take place. And that looks like that's going to be taking place in the next 7 minutes. That candle is about to close. So we'll check up on that. But right now, we're working and we're focused on platinum, at least for the moment. So we talked about visualization will never compensate for work undone. And that's the thing, right? You can visualize, you can write down, you can journal as much as you want to desire. And again, I recommend that you absolutely do, because you need to have that first foundational piece in mind, which is the visualization of what you want to achieve. But at the end of the day, what's also going to help is what is the work that is being done that will allow you to go ahead and achieve that particular goal. You know, what are the steps that we are doing that we are allowing ourselves to make sure that we move forward in the right direction? And that's going to be important as we keep moving forward. And, you know, for me, how I'm documenting the journey is, of course, you know, I'm doing the trades, I'm recording myself, and then as soon as these videos are done, they're published to the YouTube channel. You get to see all that. I go back, I look at the videos, I take notes of what I wanted to what I excuse me, what I want to go ahead and cover in more detail. Maybe I missed a detail. Maybe I do feel that's a good talking point to expand a bit further. No matter what the case is, what I'm doing based off of, you know, writing these things down is to make sure that there are good talking points that we are describing. That way we can understand more of what it is that not only that I see in the Forex journey, you know, just coming back into a retrospective perspective, if you will, so a retrospection, but what we're also doing is that allows me to keep myself honest about my work. Am I doing the best job that I possibly can for you guys? Am I covering everything that needs to be covered to make sure that you guys are moving forward in the right direction? And the answer must be a yes. If it's anything besides a yes, then I'm not doing the things that I need to be doing, and thus we have to go ahead and we need to adjust. Now, as far as that is concerned, right? So we talked about, it's not just about the visual, excuse me, the visualization. You also need to go ahead and put the work in. What our objective is for having that armored mind for doing those particular things is that we can overcome a lifelong fear or any other obstacle that would make you surrender in the past, right? No, for me, the thing about that specifically, I definitely have a story on. Whenever I happen to blow an account or whenever I happen to fail, instead of just having, right, as we can see right now, the determination to keep going, because now I've got a much more bigger picture, much more of a understanding that I need to go ahead and cover these things and I can't hide away, turn away, because that does not help the community that's watching these videos. My I don't want to call it soft or weak, but let's call it like it is. My previous mind would tell me, okay, don't trade anymore, take a break, that's it, you're done. But now I understand, especially after reading Armored Mind, and especially now going through these particular challenges, I understand that these are important for me to cover. These are important for me to document and illustrate the mindset of, even though this happened, and again, we're talking about a platinum account or a platinum instrument that I use 2 demo accounts that I've already blown at, which is how come it's very important to make sure you're trading on a demo account, right? Especially if you're going to test out your own strategy, make sure you're doing it on a demo account. That way you are not blowing anything. You're not blowing any real money away. But the idea is that, it would have been very easy for me to stop right there, but because, there was just, stop right there in that mindset, not record for a little bit and then come back to it. But no, what I want to do is I want to condition my mind to understand that those things are going to happen. Those things should not stop me from trading. And I understand that this consistent practice, this consistent discipline is only going to help me for the better. And the more that we go ahead and we understand that, the more that we go ahead and we visualize that success at the end of the tunnel, the easier the trading journey is going to be for everybody. And so what we also want to go ahead and do, so we're going to put the David Goggins talk away for right now. But I do want to come back to, there was one point that I wanted to express yesterday, but I don't believe we had enough time to cover it. And it's the fact that it's okay to be wrong. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, as we said, there are going to be obstacles along the way. We do need to develop this armored mind that we talked about in just a few minutes ago. So that armored mind means that we can't just have what I like to call the soft approach of just winning every trade and thinking that, the reality is you win every trade, because that is very much an injustice to you guys for me to say something like that. Because in truth, in reality, right? In reality, you are going to lose some of these particular trades. And that's okay to admit. It's okay to admit that we're going to lose, especially if there is a plan in place to know, okay, so we were wrong on this particular strategy. We were wrong on this particular setup. We were wrong about the market. We can adapt to that. We talked about being adaptable. We can adapt And we can make sure that even if we were wrong about that particular, okay, give me 1 second here. Now my console decided to freeze. Okay, there we go. So we got to buy trade in oil, by the way. So I'm just looking at oil right now. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to move these guys just another 100 points. So this would have been 920. I think that's 920.33 if I'm not mistaken. So move that right there. There we go. 920.50. $920.51, that's fine. 921.85, so that's 920.85. That's fine. And then 922.14 would be 921.14. Right there. Okay. So yep, that again, we're just kind of, especially because of that last candle closing, that it went to about 917. We're just moving everything up a little bit. And again, that's just to help us secure the trades that we've already gone ahead and, or at least secure the room that we've already collected for our trades to protect our equity. And again, I know that it doesn't sound like we've covered a lot of ground, but you have to understand that there is some spread going on here in the equation. So as these trades calm down with the spread, we're going to see that yes, we did indeed gain some ground on our equity. So that's just something we got to keep in mind. We have got oil right now in the midst of being in a trade. So I'm taking a look at that. And we're going to go ahead and move forward with that as we keep on going. Gold versus euro, silver, and gold versus United States dollar. Nothing much ado right there. So what we call our objective right now is just being focused on indeed platinum at this point. So again, being having the wherewithal to know that you're going to be wrong when you first start out trading, being okay with that. The idea is that they're going, and I've been, when I first started trading, again, taking these trade signals and thinking, "Ooh, I'm just going to make all this money." And granted, when I first started Forex trading, I was not doing the real account when I first started. And so, I'm sorry, the demo account. I was doing the real account, real money and all that, thinking I can make all this money just like that. But in truth, in actuality, that indeed did not happen. Rather, I lost money. And I went ahead and I did the same thing. I went ahead and I put in another real account, and the same thing happened. I put in another account. The same thing happened. The definition of insanity, by the way, quoted by Albert Einstein, is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And frankly, I did not have the knowledge that I have had now. So I ended up just doing the same thing over and over again and being stubborn to the fact that what I was doing was right and that I could never be wrong, right? And so that stubbornness, for lack of a better word, that stinginess to be stubborn did indeed cost me. And so when I say it's okay to be wrong in the market, the perspective that I want to go ahead and come with is the fact that, again, things are going to happen that are outside of our control. We can't necessarily force a bull market when we take a buy opportunity to stay a bull market if it doesn't want to. We can't necessarily stop a bear market or we can't necessarily force a bear market to still being a bear market, even if we have the evidence saying that it is. It's going to do whatever it wants to do. So in that same what I like to call analogy, we just have to understand that if we do take a trade and we're wrong, we don't need to beat ourselves over it, nor do we need to tell ourselves that it's anyone else's responsibility, or for lack of a better word, We don't have to tell ourselves that we don't have to make an excuse, understanding that, oh, we were right, but this happened. No, we were just straight up wrong. And just having that audacity to know that we were wrong about or having the power to say, hey, I was wrong about a particular trade, it allows you to have a sense of freedom, knowing that, hey, we were wrong, but that doesn't mean we're going to be wrong on the next trade. And so as all this is going on, right, and we're telling ourselves that, oh, we're wrong and all this, and we just go back for the next trade, a lot of other people who may not have that perspective will think about all these crazy things that are going on in the market. The sky is falling, the world's about to collapse. We've got nuclear war is approaching us, those that those fear mongers, that fear mongering news. Again, I'm not here to dissuade or disparage the news business. I understand they got to make money somehow, but it is, just something that, the news is going to create whether you're a bearer or a bull, the news is going to create a sense of fear and gloom within the financial market and the world. And so, because of that, what we want to do is when we see all this fear and gloom and doom and all this stuff happening, our objective is to just go ahead and take advantage of the fact that all this is going on. And so what that means is positioning ourselves in the game, positioning ourselves, understanding that, hey, right now we're looking at platinum as a sell opportunity, a sell market right now. So we want to go ahead and capitalize on the fact that right now we are indeed looking at a sell market. At the same time, if we ever see a upward market like oil is doing for us at the moment, which is how come we got into that buy trade, we understand that we want to go ahead and take advantage and be ready for the prospect of what we need to do next, whether that is to have a victory or have a loss. And so we would go ahead and we would move forward in the particular direction, wherever that direction leads us. Now, I talked about this before, but I will go ahead and elaborate that we are not the end all be all power of the forex market. I'm certainly am not doing that with virtual money, mind you. And so what we really need to go ahead and understand is, okay, again, what are the four levels of forex trading? Right, there are four levels to this. Four levels of forex trading. Who are these particular people? And what is the order on that? So I'm going to start from the bottom all the way to the top. So the first level is, of course, us, the retail traders. These are the people just like you and me that are looking to make a difference in our lives, make a difference in the Forex market, make a difference as to, being able to change our own lives, where we're working on our own accounts, that we're working on our own capital. And our idea is to be the individuals that want to change the market ourselves. Again, now the advantage of being a retail trader is the fact that you're only in the grand scheme of things, you're only worried about your own account. You're not worried about, doing this for, a bunch of investors or anything like that, which we will get to as far as the higher burdens, if you will, the higher burdens of the other levels of forex trading that are out there. But as far as the burden that we have, or the weight that we carry as retail traders, the only weight we need to carry is our own particular weight. We have to only worry about our own particular trades. We don't have to worry about anybody else, right? Because we are in full control of our actions as retail traders. Now, the next level, that next level is the institutional traders. Now, the institutional traders are the powers that may be, they are the particular individuals that actually, this is what I'm going to do too. I'm going to move again and just do this all the way to about 913.33, 919.50. 919.83. That's fine. And then we're going to move this to about 920.15 because price is going down. Again, we want to just secure the room that we've already built so far. That's our objective right here. Okay, so you've done that. Oil is still kind of just right there and not much doing with anybody else. Okay, very good. Okay, so what were we talking about? Yes, institutional traders. So institutional traders, what their objective is in the grand scheme of things is their goals, their objectives is they have a little bit more capital to work with. So they are pushing a little bit more of the market that they're pushing more capital into the market. They have a little bit more power of moving the market with retail traders just because they have a little bit more capital. But again, the burden that they have to bear, while as with retail traders, we're only really concerned about ourselves. The disadvantage that institutional traders have is that they actually have to now focus on not only themselves and not only the profit that they can collect. And by the way, the profit that they actually make is not as much. They're not able to keep as much of their account as retail traders do. Retail traders, guess what? We keep 100% of whatever we do. Institutional traders, they're trading for other people. They're trading for other individuals. So really their share is a lot less. I don't know what the exact figures are. I'm not an institutional trader. I don't know how all that works, mind you. So I may not be the best expert to talk to about that, but I can guarantee you what I am very confident in is that they are not keeping 100% of what they make. And so the institutional traders have that more of that burden because now they not only have to think about themselves, but they have to think about the investors that are investing with them, that are putting their capital in their hands and entrusting them with making the decisions. So institutional traders have a little bit more of a burden than retail traders. Now, the third level is hedge funds. If I could spell hedge funds. Now, hedge funds, in a sense, they have more capital, more power to move the market, but more pressure, more burden, because again, while institutional traders have a very much a client base, mind you, these hedge funds not only have a bigger amount of clients to worry about, but now we're talking about a lot of high net worth individuals invest in hedge funds. So talk about that pressure. If I'm not here to dissuade or cast any negative energy out there. That's not me. But again, hedge funds just have a lot more pressure on them to perform. And if they don't perform, well, that's not great. That's not great at all. So again, while hedge funds have more power to move the markets, they also have a lot more responsibility in terms of how many actual people they are supporting and not just themselves. Now, number 4 in this equation, the fourth level are banks, central banks, and governments, right? these are, and if you guys want to go ahead and write this down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, perfect. So if we really want to go ahead and think about it in this particular matter, the government, central banks are gigantic financial institutions with a lot of deposits, about millions and millions of customers that they have to safeguard their funds, that they also want to go ahead and make money off of. And if they screw up, whew, that is going to be tough. You're talking about a bank shutdown in that situation. Central banks, yeah, I'm sure not all of us are ignorant to the fact that you got a lot of people who are up the Jerome Powell's, you know what, and I feel absolutely terrible for the guy. I mean, he's just trying to make this economy go work, and you got a lot of people, a lot of angry investors wanting to, cast all these awful negative things about them. Again, we're not labeling the people, we're not labeling the people, because people are just scared of what's going on in the market. And when you get scared of what's going on in the market, you don't know any better. But my God, people want to all this energy being cast on Jerome Powell. I'm not sure how he does his job, and I feel so terrible for him. I kind of just want to give him a hug. Like, God. But see, that's not just Jerome Powell that's going through this. We've got all these other central banks that are going through the same thing. And because they're going through the same thing, there's a lot of pressure on them to perform. And so while they have the most power, and governments, by the way, they also have that power, but because they have the most power, they have the most people in their eyes that they have to protect. And so we can think of it like this. While us retail traders, we really don't have the power to move these markets like some of these other financial institutions or some of these hedge funds or institutional traders. The advantage that we have over all of them is we could just work on trading, and we could just worry about our own skin in a way, which that might be selfish to some people that I'm framing it like that. But I also put in the perspective that we only have to worry about ourselves. And so there is no pressure for us to perform. The only pressure that we have, of course, is growing, learning the skill, growing our accounts, which, if we understand that this is a long-term journey and not a short-term journey, then we can understand that we could take this as fast as we want to, or we could take this as slow as we want to. None of the other levels can do that. They can't. Find me one person that does not agree with what I'm saying, and I will call myself wrong, and I will learn and educate myself. All right. It's okay to be wrong. However, I am confident that what I'm saying is true. I'm confident what I'm saying is true. Now, being that we want to go ahead and here, I really need to take a look at oil. Okay, that's fine. And I need to take a look at these other pairs. Okay, that's fine too. Again, we're just doing a checkup. Right now, I know that we're in 2 open trades right now. Just to give everybody a quick recap, we just got out of gold versus euro because we made it 3% on our account balance. Right now, we're currently in an open trade with platinum. We've got our red lines right here to essentially, they're right there in case we need to go ahead and pull the plug on this trade by executing some buy trades. So we've got that in the going as well. We also have, in terms of oil, we have a open buy trade or a buy trade that is margining our account right now. I'm sorry, I couldn't find another a better word for that. But right now we're also focused on oil. So we got a few things in the mix right here, which is absolutely perfect. Again, we have to go ahead and we have to, at least for myself, I'm going to keep learning about these pairs and adding more pairs and looking at more pairs. You don't have to do that, by the way. You can take this journey as comfortably as you want to, as securely as you want to, I should say. You know, if you feel that I'm going too fast, then worry about just one particular pair that I trade on, or just a couple. Whatever your skill level is, you do that. If you feel that I'm going too slow, add in more pairs. Do it. I want some. If you could do this faster than me, then perfect. I am doing my job. Because the idea is that I want you to take my experience and make that faster for you. And that's the beautiful thing about being an eternal optimist, right? Just kind of speaking about that for a second. No matter what happens, whoever comments on my videos, or if you think and again, I'm not labeling the people. I'm just labeling I'm labeling the energy surrounding it. If the energy is telling me that people are thinking that I'm going too slow, then perfect. You guys are already at a higher level. That means that you could do a lot more than I can, and I can learn from you. And that's an absolutely beautiful perspective to have. If the energy is saying, okay, Jordan, you're going too fast, then that's also perfect. That means that you have more to learn, more to grow. You're going to be doing a lot more of this practice. And that's absolutely another beautiful perspective to have as well. The thing about being an eternal optimist is not to say that, it's all sunshine and rainbows all the time. We all go through a lot of BS in our lives. And I'm no stranger to BS. Again, I don't know if I want to necessarily empty all that right now. Give me time. But I know that there are things that I'm seeing a therapist for. I will be checking into my therapist next Sunday, this Sunday, October 9th. And what I know is that even though there is just that stuff that's going in my head right now, that I need to go ahead and release some of these blockages that are coming in, I also understand that, yes, I have to deal with that. Yes, that is a heavy thing that must be dealt with. But instead of focusing on that situation for a bit, that will be addressed when it needs to be. Let's talk about what's going right now. I'm very grateful to be here trading right now. I'm very grateful to be in a position where we can go ahead and watch some of these trades grow. I'm in a beautiful position where you've already seen a couple of winning trades. I'm in a beautiful position where I'm teaching a little bit of what I know each and every day to you guys. I'm in a beautiful position where I get to enjoy Forex trading, I get to enjoy podcasting, and I get to enjoy coaching all at the same time. So that's where my gratitude comes in, and that's really a core part of my mentality. And so that eternal optimist mindset, while it might be a little like, whoa, like, or do you just speak positively, and do you not go through anything that you and again, I'm not that this wasn't me singling out anybody. This is more some of the energetic perception on an eternal optimist. All I'm saying, to make a long story short, yes, I have my own BS I have to deal with, but I'm not going to let that weigh me down when I know that I already got a lot of fantastic things going right for me, and I choose to focus on those right things. Because by choosing to focus on those right things, that is where the energy is going to go. And wherever the energy goes, that is where we are going to flow. That's where we're going to flow. And if we're able to focus it in that perspective, then things do turn out to be a lot more beautiful than we give them credit for. And so I'll be monitoring these particular trades. I'll be seeing how these particular trades turn out, and you will indeed get a update from me as to what's going on. All right, everybody. So we are back. Just to recap a couple of things, of course, we don't have any trade opportunities for gold as of yet. Silver, we're still gold versus euro. We want to trade, but still looking for opportunities there. Right now, we are looking at platinum for another sell opportunity. The sell hour popped up, but because of the downtrend that we are on, now there were some open trades that we had for platinum as we saw, but right around this particular candle right here, we had crossed our what we call our line that allowed us that not necessarily forced us, but that told us to go ahead and place some buy trades. So that's what happened right there. And of course, with the spread, the way that it is, did indeed allow the buy trades to go all the way up there. So we have we had a couple of trades that we had a trade that we won, a couple of trades that we lost, but of course we're still moving forward in the right direction. And now we're just waiting for that candle to close and make sure that sell arrow stays there. And then we did win our oil trade, so we took our 30 pips out of that market, and we are done with that particular financial instrument. So right now we're going to go ahead and do another sell trade right here, right at this particular point, and we will go ahead and we will let the trade play out from there. And of course, knowing where our stop loss is, so the highest point was about 920.84. So let's make a mark on that, and then up to 100, and that's where we'll place our buy stop right. Huh. I get a little confused. Okay, 920.84. There we go. Okay, so that would be 100. Be right there. Okay, so we've got our buy stop right there. So now all we're doing is we're just allowing this particular trade to play out. So again, when we talk about the internal, it looks like, okay, so it looks like our buy stop just kicked in right there. So now we are no longer in a open sell trade. So again, that tells us that the spread is indeed is indeed a little big right here. So we're no longer in that particular sell trade, which is absolutely perfect. We'll wait for the next opportunity then to come up with platinum. And of course, we're still waiting on some of our other pairs that we are taking a look at as well. So in the meantime, we will be right back. All right, everybody. So we are back at it. We're actually taking a look at gold versus USD. A sell arrow did pop up for us. So the way that we do this is that we look for the buy trade with the highest profit, close that, and that's basically, that's basically our open sell trade. Now, for gold right now, we are currently on phase 2 with this particular pair. We're on phase 2 of the strategy. So our idea is on the 15-minute time frame. We are just looking to go into buy trades. We're looking to go into sell trades. And because right now we just made about a $40 trade, which in the grand scheme of things is about a 400 pip move. Our next target would be to get into one of the sell trades right here, or the idea is for a sell trade to come up for us, and we would ultimately price would move over to that sell trade. We get our 30 pips of profit, and then we get out. So we'll hold on to this trade for it a little bit. Now, the other way that we get out of this trade is, of course, if the arrow itself, the sell arrow, disappears. So we're going to go ahead and in this situation, we'll let the trade play out. So I'm just taking a look at some of our notes right here. And one of the things that, we need to keep telling ourselves as we go through all these different pairs, again, I'm just looking for opportunities that might be here. I'm actually going to go ahead and move this guy over to the upper chart corner right here. I'll do the same thing right here. Okay, there we go. Then we're waiting on platinum and oil for another opportunity right there. So As far as, the more we tell ourselves, as we're doing all these trades, the more that we tell ourselves that we can move forward, the better, right? Because again, there have been days where we've had some great days. There have been days that we had some setbacks, but understand that even what we perceive as a setback can only allow us to go ahead and move forward. What we're learning right here are some of the things that we can do with trading, and we're also learning some of the things that we cannot do with trading as well. So, for every trade that we take, it's only a step in the right direction. That's why I'm so very prevalent on the principle of Kaizen, one day at a time, one step at a time, one trade at a time. It's not just a cool saying, but it is a matter of fact that the only way that we can move forward, the only way we can tell ourselves, the only way that we can visualize to ourselves, as we talked about the armored mind or a little bit earlier, the only way that we can move forward is by doing the things that we need to do. And so, what we're also doing by taking these trades and as we review them, as we see the results, is that we're learning the strategies that we need in order to move forward in the right direction. Now, we know that the phase one part of our strategies from earlier, there are some great days, but there were also not so good days that we had to go ahead and we had to take in phase two. While we're looking at phase two with most of our pairs, gold versus United States dollar, gold versus euro, oil, as well as silver, we're looking at all those pairs and we're seeing what's going on with phase two. Platinum, we're moving into phase three because we know that the phase two part of our strategy just didn't work with that particular pair. So we understand that there's going to be more at play with this particular pair until proven otherwise. And so the more that we can go ahead and learn and understand what works for us, and the more that we can understand what does not work for us, the more that we'll be in a better position to go ahead and do the things that we need to do in order to move forward. We have the opportunity to make money either when prices go up or when prices go down. So every opportunity that's out there, whether we see a down arrow because we understand that, hey, currently we notice that the market structure is reversing and it's going into a little bit of a downtrend right now. We can spot a downtrend right here, or if you even want to go short, let me just move that right there. Okay. Or even if you want to go into a little bit of the short term, here's another downtrend that we can go ahead and identify. No matter how you want to go ahead, and we could also talk about some resistances right there. Main point being, we don't have to necessarily learn that because did not mean to delete all arrows. Thank God it did not do that. As far as, understanding where we are, understanding, the direction that we are wanting to go, we have the opportunity to make money, in this case, a sell trade, because we believe that prices are going to continue to go down a la a bear market, or whenever we get into an opportunity where we see a up arrow, that means we understand that right now the trend is a bull market where prices are going up, and we anticipate that prices are going to continue to go up. And as long as we have that particular mindset in mind, where all we're worried about is trend, we're worried about risk management, and we're worried about when to enter and exit a trade, then everything else, that is going to inherently come into us as we start to grow and learn the skill a little bit more. Because at the end of the day, it's not about whether we win, and it's not necessarily whether we lose. Our objective, our understanding is, are we protecting our equity? And are we protecting the fuel that allows us to move forward and be able to trade another day? Because as long as we're able to trade another day, as long as we give ourselves the grace to understand that no matter what happens today, and no matter what happens the next day, and the next day, and the next day, if we give ourselves that grace to understand, okay, we still have our equity, we still have the thing that we need in order to continue to participate in the market and continue to take the trades that we're taking, that will allow us to learn and grow and experience, then the better. And the other thing that, of course, one of the things that is prevalent within the hedge strategy that we're doing, which is how come we had about a $44 trade, was because of the fact that we hedged a couple of trades on gold, is the fact that a lot of the moves that we're going to be looking for, not only just the 30 pip moves that we've been able to see and we've been able to close on those trades, but we're also looking for swing trades as well, which are going to be longer term trades. And that term right there, I will explain a little bit more deeper, I'm sure, into another one of our days. But the concept behind swing trading is we understand that currently, there was before this particular point, the markets were in a bull market. So prices were going up, prices were going down. So we had higher highs and higher lows being created. Now, as we can see, especially with these down hours, and the down hour did move over to the next candle. So we're going to go ahead and we will pay attention to that. But the point being is that at some point, the market decided, okay, we're done with the uptrend. Now we want to go ahead and we want to concentrate now on the downtrend. So at that particular point, now prices, instead of creating higher highs and higher lows, prices are creating lower highs and lower lows. And so when that happens, all the buy trades that are in profit, we go ahead and we close them down first so that we don't waste time in creating another trade that is not entirely necessary. And the objective on that is to understand that we would go ahead and we would make these particular moves because we understand that price is now going towards the downside. So any trades that are technically in drawdown, because we have an open sell trade, price is either going to do one or two things. They'll either catch up to it, and we'll be able to close the trade when that trade is in 30 pips profit. Or number two, we have the understanding that we may at least made ground on the drawdown that we can. We built up the equity, and so we can now go ahead and use that equity that we gained back so that we can move forward to the next day. One of those two situations will happen. And again, that's not something that we can control. Only the market can go ahead and tell us specifically what to be looking for. And again, all this, right? All this talk right here about the swing effect and what we're looking for and all the trades that we take. What we're learning as we do this is the art of patience. And the Forex market, the financial market, the stock market, whatever particular market you are in, the objective, the idea, the goal, the concept is that this particular system transfers money from the impatient to the patient. Because some people are either in a buy trade right now just because they see the momentum, or whether they are going through their own circle of anxiety right now, which is whether or not they want to go ahead and either close a trade with a few cents of profit or go ahead and hold on to the losers once they understand that that trade is no longer in the same direction, or one of the confirmations is broken, so that trade may no longer be invalid. All this is going on right now, and all we're doing is we have the understanding of, okay, we have a strategy. We've been putting multiple phases within our strategy based on the data that we have been collecting so far. And as we move into each phase and we understand that we are building these accounts and that we are trading and that we're learning how to stay within the trade, all we're doing is that we are growing our skill of being patient. And so those that have the characteristics, again, we're not singling out anybody. And we also understand that patience is a skill to learn. But what we can take advantage of in the meantime is that this system allows the transfer of money from the inpatient to the patient. Now, with that being said, you may have noticed that the candle has moved over to the sell arrow has moved over to the next candle. So our objective now is that we're going to go ahead and we are going to cost average. Now, cost averaging is a matter of we would go ahead and, again, say that one trade that we took, whether that was a buy or a sell. So in the case of a buy, we take a buy trade, and the buy trade, it went into drawdown a little bit, so the trade was not going our way initially. Well, the idea with cost averaging is that at that drawdown, so that particular position is in drawdown, what we would do on the second trade is place another buy there. So as the first trade moves back into break even, the second trade moves into profit. So we're going to see an example right here where we went ahead and we technically took a sell trade right at this particular position. Now, depending on where that this candle closes in the next 2 minutes, you're going to understand that, okay, this is where we took the first sell trade. Right, so let's just write that down, first sell trade. Now, the objective of a sell trade is to make money when prices go down. And so understanding that prices at this particular point have gone up, we are not making money on this trade. We are losing money on this particular trade. And so what's going to happen now is as we go ahead and we allow this particular trade to close within the next minute, the candle is going to close at a higher position. That is what I believe is going to be the case. In fact, I'm sorry, this actually, let me move this arrow down a little bit, because we actually took this trade right at this marker right here. Okay, there we go. And while we wait for that, are we doing everything else? Oh, we got a sell arrow right there. So we're going to go ahead and we will take a look at that within. So we got about 27 seconds before that candle closed. So we're going to be having a two trades taking on right around the same time. But the idea is that for a cost average, our first sell trade we took right over here. Now the candle moved up to about this position up top right here. So when that candle closes within the next 5 seconds, which will be right at this mark right here, we would go ahead and we first close that buy trade because, you know, that turns into a sell trade. Now we took our second sell trade right here. And so because of that, when the first sell trade goes into break even, the second sell trade will make a profit because when the first sell trade got back into break even, which was initially a drawdown of about, we'll call that 30 pips, the second sell trade will be in a profit of about 30 pips. And that is the concept of a cost average and how we can go ahead and use that to its benefit. Now, I'm going to go back to platinum and I'm going to place a sell trade. Just making sure. Yep, we're going to place a sell trade. Okay. And then where was our high point on this guy? Oh, wrong tool. There we go. So our high point was at 921.38. Right? 921.38. Okay. To about 100, which would be right here. Okay, so it looks like spread is happening. So we'll just place a marker at 9. This would be about 921.38. So this would need to be at 922.38. So we'll place that right over here. Okay. Okay, so we've got that trade going on for platinum. We've got the cost average trades going on for gold. So we're currently in about 3 trades that we're paying attention to right now. 2 sell trades on gold, 1 sell trade on platinum, and we will move forward from there. And as far as the other pairs, we don't have anything as of yet. So we're still waiting on those pairs specifically. But while that is going on, we also have to understand one thing, and it's this, that trading in this particular market is a process. We need to understand that with trading, our objective is not to get rich overnight. This is not a get rich quick scheme that, people or I don't want to single anybody out, but there are schemes out there that portray themselves as get rich overnight, not do a dang thing. Places that are out there. And yet, if we really want to grow and become the traders that we need to be, we understand that we have to go through this journey. Going back to Kaizen, we have to go through this journey. We have to take an approach of we're learning something new each and every day, that we're doing things right now, day by day, that are helping us grow into the trader that we want to become. Now, that road might be a little difficult. I'm sure that road is not necessarily easy for a lot of us. However, what we're understanding is that, nothing in life, again, nothing in life does come easy. If we want the things that we truly want, then we need to go ahead and we need to work for it. And so while Forex trading, there is work that's involved, once you learn the skill, you will have a skill that no one will take away from you. B, it's recession proof because you can make money either during a recession or even I guess the opposite of a recession, which is a boom period. When the economy booms or busts, we can capitalize and take advantage of that. And that's the beautiful thing of the system that we have, is that we can play the game both ways, where we can make money being the person that's betting on the market to go up, and we can also make money betting as the person that believes the market will go down. But again, in order to understand how all that is going to work, in order to understand some of the things that we're learning now, we had to go through some of these missteps. We had to go through some of these potholes. We had to go through some of these failures in order to come out the other side with more knowledge, more information gained, and ready to learn. And it all dictates, and we have our strategies, right, for how we win, how we lose. We talked about, how to exit some of these trades. And as we evolve, we might have to adjust a strategy for that. Again, everything that we're doing right now, we are learning something. Just as you're watching the video and you're learning how I'm taking some of these trades, I myself, being the conductor, if you will, taking these trades, reviewing these videos, seeing what worked and what didn't work, I'm also learning something. And the fact that, this knowledge will only allow me to grow better as a teacher, and also allow me to understand how we'll adapt to a winning trade and how we'll adapt to a losing trade. And we were able to see that in the past. We're able to see this in the present, and we're able to see this in the future on how exactly we adapt to everything, and how our strategy can also be adaptable based on what we learned. The greatest danger of trading, the greatest hazard to trading is, not seeing myself fall down and take some losing trades. The greatest danger isn't the fact that, I have blown accounts. The greatest danger is the fact that we're out of the market. The greatest danger is quitting on this absolutely amazing opportunity, which I'll remind everybody is about a $6.6 trillion a day market. The danger is saying that this is too hard, or, we're not able to give ourselves the belief, the confidence that we can do this, and thus we end up leaving this particular market. That is the greatest danger out of everything we talked about so far. And if we fall into that trap and we end up stopping, then again, what does if not now, when? That's one question that pops into my head. And the other part is that then we go back to the same cycle. If we stop and we end up turning back to the things that we were doing, then we stop. We're saying to ourselves, we're okay in the situation that we're in, right? And if we think about it, as far as what we came here to do, well, I talked about this. What is your why? What is your why for doing this? Because there's a particular reason. There's a particular reason that you came onto this channel and you're following me on day 22 of my journey. It's not because I'm a cool guy with a great voice, which, again, I'm not trying to be arrogant, but I'm just pointing out some reasons that may not be what we're really here for. But no, the objective, to get to my main point, the objective is to see how we can have this tremendous opportunity come to us. And if we look at this opportunity, we practice, we grow on the journey. And then we tell ourselves, you know what? I can't do this. This market is too hard, or I failed, so I cannot see myself keep going. Well, then the question I have is, if not this opportunity, what other opportunity do you foresee getting out of the current situation that you want to get yourselves out of? I'm not saying that there aren't any other cool opportunities that are out there in the market. And if you want to try those, that's fine. But then by quitting on this opportunity, would you stay with that other opportunity? And then if you quit that other opportunity, would you then go to the next opportunity and keep that going? Or would you also quit that? At the end of the day, this isn't mainly just about to make money. This is about to grow and start something and finish something that can transform your life forever. Sitting on the sidelines, even for short periods of time, may be the costliest mistake of all, which is always how come I always want to record when there is a trading day. Now, I can't help weekends. I can't help holidays. I will not trade on those days. And that is because there's absolutely no point to doing that. But if there is an opportunity, if there is a day that I can go ahead and trade, then absolutely I am going to go ahead and take advantage of it. Because what this does is it builds up and instills the confidence and faith in not only myself, but to those that are also trading and those that are also practicing the skill. That also builds up the confidence and faith that you have in yourself. And if we allow then the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I can keep counting because I have those are the times I have failed in this market. If I count the times I failed, and I say that because I failed in this market X amount of times, I'm done. Then all that time to me would have been for naught. I would have wasted my time. And that is a feeling, that is a thought, that is a subconscious thought I cannot have, because I know that this is it right here. And again, with that being said, every time we fail and every time we, to liken this to a sports analogy, right? Because, we got sports. Every time we throw that interception, every time we get sacked, every time we fumble the ball, every time we let the opposing team score a touchdown, every time we blow a coverage, every time we lose a quarter, every time we lose a half, we make adjustments. We look at our game plan, we look at our playbook and say, you know what? Some of this stuff is working and some of the stuff is not working. So we get rid of the stuff that's not working. We adjust the playbook and we become even better. Here's another thing when we talk about this. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to make 100% of the shots that you do take, right? Because we see that that is not possible. I have missed shots that I have tried to make, but for all the shots I did not take, we'd start at square one, and we would not be any further along. And if I did not take any trades, if I did not take any shots, then it's as if I would have started at day one at 0.00 recording. And there would be no growth. There would be no learning. There would be no progress. Again, progress is defined to me in many different realms. We don't want to just look at the financial realm of progress, the action realm of progress, the strategic realm of progress, the emotional realm of progress. That is all relevant. Now, I spoke about the avatar of trading, going back to Avatar: The Last Airbender, one of my favorite shows growing up. And we're going to do a little bit more of a deep dive on that, I am sure, in future episodes. However, the idea is that if we don't take any shots, then we do not grow, we do not experience, and we do not progress. Fear isn't a reward. Courage is. Again, I'm going to remind everybody that this is super uncomfortable for me. This is super uncomfortable, trading on my account, and everyone is taking a very good look on what's going on. I'm posting all of my results on social media. Everyone is taking a very good look at what's going on. For better or for worse, I have got a target on my back each and every day. Again, I'm not here to just, stick out my chest or anything. I'm just laying to everybody where my perspective is coming from. I've got a target on my back each and every time I take a trade. And people have the right at that point to either mock me for my trades or ignore me and just kind of dismiss what I'm doing. And that is an uncomfortable part to be in, but it's uncomfortability that I embrace and I accept. Hey, everybody. So we are back. So I do want to go ahead and just give a few updates as to what happened since the break. I want to first go over to Platinum. Where's Platinum? There is Platinum. We were able to go ahead and take a win off of that trade. As we can see, we were able to get about 40 pips in profit right there. So that was a victory for us. We actually even have another down arrow as we look at this particular candle a bit more. So that will be exciting news to us. That will be a potential opportunity to get in. We are still following our gold trade right here. As we can see, we've not deviated from exiting this trade just yet. We're looking for either for it to gain some more ground, preferably before when we close our trades, run around the 9:45 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. And then as far as the other pairs that are involved, we don't have anything on silver versus the United States dollar, nothing on gold versus euro yet, and nothing on oil as of yet either. So we are still essentially in limbo at this particular point, which is absolutely perfect. We're going to wait about 30 seconds before we head back into a Platinum right here. Again, we know our rules. We know our strategy for phase 3 in a matter of speaking. And that's the thing, right? On this journey, we've seen, the highs, the lows of what we're essentially doing. We've been able to, stay consistent, still follow our strategy until we obviously knew that our strategy was not working. And, that's where the phase one came into the phase two to the phase three. Before we finish that thought, let me go ahead and get myself into a sell trade right here. Okay. And then this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to first take a look at my high point, which is 912 point. What's that? 912.82. Okay. So let me do this. Let me do this. Let me do this. Yep, that's fine. And that's 100 right there. Put ourselves. Okay, we cannot do that. So in that case, that is perfectly okay. We are just going to go ahead and we will make this. What do we say? This would be at about 912.82. So we need to make that 913.82. So place that right there for laters. So the idea again is that with this particular strat, and I'm actually going to go ahead and just remove this guy. I don't know. We don't need this guy here anymore. Okay. So the idea for phase three of our strategy again is that we're in this sell trade. Now, if price gets up to this particular point, we are going to go ahead and automatically place a buy, even if the sell arrow is still shaping up in that general direction. I mean, that's the thing, right? We're talking about all these different strategies, and of course we're still following phase two on most of these pairs until there's a need to have them go into phase three. And what we're understanding is that in this journey, in this trading journey that we're doing, there have been ebbs and flows just like a river. Not everything has been straight up, not everything has been straight down, but instead it's like a period where we have been seeing some ups in what we are doing, and we're also seeing some downs in what we are doing. And what we can understand from that is that, just because we're seeing one day as a particular result does not mean that the next day is going to have the same effect. Your past does not dictate your present, nor does it dictate your future. So it is very important to understand that, have that mindset of a bigger vision of mind, a vision of becoming the best Forex trader in the world, becoming the 10, 11, 12 counting figure earner. At least that's my mindset, right? Because that's what I focus on. That allows me to keep going on this journey during its best moments and during its worst moments. And having the courage to stay in until one of our confirmations gets knocked over, gets broken, is very important. We're still in this gold trade right here. We do not have any confirmations as of yet that we need to deviate away from getting out of the two open sell trades that we're currently in right now. And as far as platinum is concerned, we do not have any confirmations as of yet. Now, if it breaks the 913.82 area, that is going to be a confirmation that we need to place a buy right at that particular point to stop our other sell trade in its tracks. But that does not mean that we'll be done with sell trades necessarily. All this will do is that one trade will not be a sell trade anymore, but one trade we can go ahead and take advantage of a particular sell trade. And so with that being said, we do want the courage to stay in our trades, even if it gets a little tense, it gets a little scary. And that is what we are doing currently so far. And again, if we really want to go ahead and we want to think about this, and again, I'm keeping an eye on that candle. If it breaks 913.82, we are absolutely done with at least this one sell trade that we have currently open in margin. And all this is what we're doing from phase one to phase two to phase three. It's not affecting what we're seeing in trend. It's not affecting what we're seeing in the entering part. It might affect what we're doing with the exit strategy for some of these trades, but it's not affecting the entry. What we're really doing right here, which is probably one of the most important things that we all need to understand, is we're not only trading, but investing in general, is risk management. What is our risk management strategy as we go ahead and as we move forward with these markets? And if we understand what that particular strategy is, if we understand what we are doing as we're going ahead and as we we keep going with the pace. Then we'll have a proper understanding as to, okay, is our strategy working? Do we need to adjust a little bit? Let me just see something right here. Okay, so that closed. So what we're going to do is we're going to click a buy right here, but I'm also going to click a sell right here because because that candle right there moved. It's because this candle right here, this was the initial sell arrow, then it moved over to this part, and now we have another sell arrow coming in over here. So now will be an opportunity for another sell trade if we see fit. Just looking at gold, and gold is still moving along in that direction. So now I'm going to take, because we're still in an open sell trade, so the high point was 913.83. All I'm doing is I'm going to move this now up to 91.91483, or right around there. That's fine. So that's what we'll do for that. And then we'll also have a sell trade right around this particular area as well. So keep that right there for right now until anything changes. But that's the idea, right? Is that we're doing this right now, and preferably we're doing this on a demo account to make sure that our strategy works. Now, while we have confidence in gold and silver and gold versus euro at the moment, what we don't have confidence in is platinum and oil, because they have not proven to help us grow a sustainable account as of yet. And so until proven otherwise, we will still continue to test our strategies to make sure that these trades move forward in the right direction. And that's what we should all be doing before we risk our actual money on these particular accounts. And as we move forward on our trading, we're going to start to understand specifically, how are we doing? Are we progressing it in the way that we need to? And are we going to be able to move forward in the right direction with these trades? And so we'll go ahead, and I will give a further update as we move forward towards the close of our trading day, I should say, and then we'll take it from there. All right, everybody, we are back. So I'm placing a sell trade right there for everybody to see. I'm also going to take because again, our candle moved over to the next candle. So again, the last trade that we took, the candle was right here, moved into this next candle. So we're going to go ahead and place a sell right there. And then what I'm going to do is this high point of 0.91411. We're going to go ahead and take our horizontal line tool and make that about 9.915.11. There we go. Let's try to drag it. And then we're going to make that right there. Okay. So we got two. And then again, if price crosses that line right there, that means that we're going to go ahead and take a, we're going to, what's the word I'm looking for? We are going to place a buy right there, because we know now that we don't need to, or we're going to go ahead and make sure that our account is protected since it's going in the opposite direction. So this is what's going on with platinum right now. Right now, I also am looking at gold, and we see that gold is still progressing right here. I'm not pushing the finger on the trigger as of yet. Right now, I don't have anything on silver. I do not have anything on euro, and I do not have anything on oil as of yet. So these are the trades that are taking place right now. And so we're going to go ahead and let these guys play out, and I will be right back with the next update. All right, everybody, we are back. And as we could see, we had a couple of candles it took, but the sell arrow did move over to the candle that we as currently closed. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to take another sell trade right there. So that gives us 3 open trades. We look at the high point right here. We can see that high point was at 914.45. So all I would do is I put this now at 915.45, just right about there. And we go ahead, and again, we allow these particular trades to play out. We got about 10 minutes before I stop for the day. Gold, gold's still kind of doing its thing, so we're not really going to mess with that. And then and then silver, and then we got gold versus euro. Oil, not much doing. So at this point, we're really just focused on both platinum and gold for the meanwhile. So I'm going to go ahead and do just that, and we will indeed be right back. All right, everybody. So we are back at it. Our last couple of trades, we ultimately had to go ahead and we had to place a buy right there because they ultimately did not go our way. Absolutely perfect. But our candle, we had our last candle right here closed with the down arrow still. So we're still going to get into a sell trade. We are going to also go ahead and let's see, that high point right there is about 915.65. So we'll put that right there. So that's 915.65. So we're going to put that at 916.65. So right about here, right at that area. Put that up a little bit. Okay, right there. So we're going to leave that right there. We already have a down arrow pointing to for us, so just right about there. So we're going to wait on that to see what happens. Although, to be fair, we are getting to the last part of the trade session right here. I do end up closing around this particular point, so I am going to be looking to potentially close that if needed, but at least for right now, we could see we're about 3 minutes out. And again, I'm not worried about what's going on right here. I know this is a demo account, so I can't afford if this account is going to blow. We can go ahead and we can work on the next strategy for platinum. And that's the thing, right? We know that a lot of these pairs are going to have their own strategies. And for platinum, we are getting into a difficult spot with it. We are trying or attempting, I should say. We're doing we did one strategy, didn't work. We do one strategy, it didn't work. We're on the next strategy right here. If that doesn't work, we we move on to the next strategy, and that's sort of the goal for each and every one of these trades. Again, I've said it before. We could get into a point where we blow this account, but that doesn't mean that the journey is not over for us. Rather, instead, we just go ahead and we keep moving forward. So ultimately, the will allow we're going to determine, or really price is going to determine what happens at this particular point, and we just move forward with the journey. I talked about the armored mind before. It's a matter of, yes, this is embarrassing, or not embarrassing, I should say, but it is uncomfortable to see me put into this particular position. And a lot of you are going to see this right here again. I'm transparent. I'm never going to hide anything away from you. So at the end of the day, we're going to see exactly what happens here. I'm going to see it on a replay whenever I get to watching this replay. And ultimately, that's going to dictate exactly what the next move is. What do we, or how do we carry on after this? It's not a matter of, okay, we failed and that's it. No, we allow ourselves to keep going with the process, and allowing ourselves to keep going with the process is ultimately going to allow us to move forward in the right direction. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and allow this particular pair to do its thing. We got about a minute and 24 seconds on this particular candle right over here. So we're going to allow this to close out. I'm going to stay live here because that ultimately will be the end of our trading session, so to speak, for the day. So we got about a minute left, and then this has been day 22. So then we move on to day 23, which will be Thursday, and we'll go from there. And it's an absolutely beautiful thing to know that you get to look forward to not only today's journey, but you get to look forward to the next journey. And we go ahead and we keep moving forward from there. So we got about 40 seconds left before we are done. Just taking a look at what gold is doing. So gold is kind of staying right there. That's fine. Absolutely perfect. We've got silver. We've got gold versus euro. We've got oil. Not really much to do about there. We got about 23, 22, 21, 20 seconds left. I don't know if you need me to start counting down like we're at the New Year's Eve ball, if you will. So I'm not going to go ahead and do that. Well, maybe I will. So we got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. And the way we'll close this, by the way, is I'll just take the highest sell trade in profit and just close that 4-1. Okay, boom. That's it. So that is it for the day. So we're going to go ahead and leave platinum just like this. Gold, we're going to go ahead and we are going to, okay, so we got 2 open sells. So I believe we need to click buy. Yep, okay. We're going to go ahead and leave gold just like that. So that is it. That's it for today. This has been day 21. So gold, we had a few nice wins. Platinum, we had a few nice wins, but we also have indeed seen a little bit of drawback. And of course, there is the spread that we need to go ahead and also consider as well for platinum. So now the spread, we'll go ahead and we'll talk about that a little bit more on a later part of the journey. We have silver. We haven't taken a trade on silver yet. Just not a whole lot going on right there. So, but we'll get there. I'm sure we'll get an opportunity. Gold versus euro. We did get one opportunity. We were able to get that done. And then oil, we did go ahead and get a trade done there as well, even though we do have a little bit of drawdown. So some amazing things, some exciting things that are moving forward. Most of these pairs are on phase 2. We got platinum on phase 3, and we get to go ahead and we get to move forward from there. So for anyone that has any questions on the journey so far, anything in general Forex trading wise, I'm going to give you my channels where you can go ahead and reach me. Facebook is Jordan Rosario. Instagram is Jordan Rosario 777. And Twitter is WC_Rosario. I'm sure I'll have more channels as we move forward. But again, Kaizen, one step at a time, one trade at a time, and absolutely one day at a time. So this has been day 22 of the Forex journey. I am very grateful to each and every one of you that continue to watch and see how we trade Forex. And as always, happy trading.